Has the fear, Cassandra, of just grabbing someone and taking them somewhere, does that stop people from sometimes wanting to do volunteer?
It does, because they're afraid of the repercussions behind telling someone's kid, okay, you really shouldn't wear your pants sagging like that, because that's not how you're going to get that job that you really want. And they're afraid that, because back in the day, like you say, because I'm a little bit older than some people in the room.
We all in the same generation here.
But
that's sad difference.
Where when our parents were called by this teacher, you automatically knew your parents were going to take the teacher's side until they lose something different. Right. Now it's more of a threat. Well, call my mama. I don't care. And that's because mama is now maybe 10 years older than you or 12 years older than you. And I'm not saying that something's wrong with that, but at that point, that child that's now having a child needs to be taught how to be a parent. And they need to learn that there are other avenues out there besides what they see on reality TV, on social media. They need to know that back in the day, those things that happened and worked back in the day, they still work. So why can't we do it? And I do think that fear does play a part, that people don't want to get involved, that they see something, I don't want to get involved, I don't want to chastise this kid, I don't want to do this. Because my parents would tell us all the time, don't do something on the street that I'm going to be embarrassed about.
Oh, my God, yes.
Can I say this, too?
Go ahead.
I think one of the things that discourages regular, everyday people from getting involved as well is they look at celebrities. Oh, the celebrities got a mentoring weekend. They do this, they do that. I'm not them. Or I don't have a white-collar job. I didn't go to school. You know what I mean? So there's so many barriers that we have created when we're creating kind of like these demigods of this is a role model. That's a great person. And it cuts out a whole demographic of people who have love, life, and experiences to share with young people. So I think it's our job to encourage people that, hey, you would be a great role model despite not having this salary, driving this kind of car, this type of job. You still have something to give.
And I like that you said that, and I'm going to let my baby go with a question next, is that you don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to have a lot to offer someone. It's just that you're willing to offer. A lot of kids are just looking for someone to offer and actually just care about them enough that you just want to spend some time with them. And we always say we've got to offer them the world, but all they're looking for is just some attention. Baby, what you got?
I want to go back to the social media thing because it plays a big role. But do you think that social media is hitting girls at a much earlier age, Dr. Kim?
I think the issues are similar. I think that the issues that girls face now, I think a lot of them are similar to what they faced before. So, sexuality issues, independence issues, puberty issues, relationship issues. I think that's a fairly universal sort of developmental progression. I think that what's happening now is that before we were able to guide, if you will, when those answers would come to our children. So if they were trying to, ask questions about puberty or boyfriends or where babies come from, as a community, either as a parent or as an uncle, as a friend, you could guide that. And you could say, I don't know that we're ready yet to know that. And so then we could kind of skirt that a little bit or talk about it in a way that was developmentally appropriate for that child to understand. And I think now what social media does is we're an immediate gratification culture. And so if we want an answer, even if we can't handle the answer, we're going to find the answer. And I think that's where it's becoming hardest because we have all this information coming into us, but I don't know that we have the capacity yet to understand it.
Wow. What are, some of the positive things that you could say to a young lady who have low self-esteem? I'm going to shoot that over to Kelly right now.
Dr. Kelly. Come on, Dr. Kelly.
Dr. Kelly.
Hero, Dr. Kelly.
I think one of the strengths of being a really great mentor or role model is transparency. So I think I never forget I was hearing some younger preacher who was being mentored by T.D. Jakes said he was comfortable with T.D. Jakes being his mentor and his guide because T.D. Jakes showed him his scars. And so I think sometimes we have to be comfortable and being transparent and sharing with young people. I had low self-esteem at this age, but I'm 30-something years old, and I still have my bouts where I'm challenged with it. And so when they get to see you and they see this package, but you're being honest and transparent and real with them about struggles are normal for everybody, I think it gives them that opportunity to trust you and open the door for a longer, more robust relationship.
I have to agree with her. When you share a little bit of yourself with people, it allows them to trust you. And when you're honest and you let them know this is what it is. You know, everybody doesn't come from, you know, like the rich homes and all these things.
The reality TV.
Exactly, the reality shows. You know, my reality is I don't live in a mansion. Do I have someplace to live that's comfortable? Yes, I do. Do I drive a nice car? Yes, I do. But those things came to me because I earned them. But in the meantime, yes, I've had my heart broken. Yes, I've had to walk into a room and had to think that maybe I'm not good enough to be in this room with these people. But then you have to say, why am I not good enough to be in the room with these people?
Yeah, and
what makes them different?
Right, and it's good because a lot of times, one of the motto of our show is to know our glory. You've got to know our backstory, and so we've always been honest about the things that we went through. And I think a lot of times, Dr. Kim, that some people don't really feel comfortable with sometimes sharing the information. I'm going to let Michelle know, who's our special guest, that you ain't getting away with anything just yet. But so, Michelle, get yourself ready, too. I think that what happens when we feel that we become mentors, we're not supposed to actually tell somebody about our struggles. And like she said, T.D. Jakes, let the man see his scars. I think sometimes we're afraid to show our battle scars and the things we went through. Why is that something when we're trying to help a young lady to see, the trials and tribulations of life, we don't want to tell them about ours and how we made it over?
Well, we probably feel ashamed possibly as well. And so I think we protect ourselves then. And I think that the other thing that happens is I actually think you have to strike a balance between sharing personal experience, but also not getting caught up in your own stuff to where it's becoming now a lecture. Because I work a lot with kids and adolescents, and as soon as I start to talk a little bit too much about me, they are out. They are just like, I don't even, you're old. I don't know what you're talking about, And so I think part of it is to, in a sense, hear what they're saying and use your information to maybe integrate that into their story as opposed to necessarily tell your story.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that, I love the fact that you should be transparent. It's so sad that people always have this prejudgment of people. And with me, I always use myself as an example. They always tell me, people I really don't even know, you don't look like you went through anything. Let me show you my battle scars, and then you see if you want to still be around me. But like Dr. Kelly over here was saying, when I first met her, she spoke some great wisdom because we grew up in the same community. And when she said when people get out of that community, they don't want to give back to that community and come in and help. And that saddens me because it's like, great things come out of Roseland. That's a shameless pub. Great things come out of Roseland. But, I mean, the thing with that, even with the self-image thing, I hate to see a young girl just look at herself and never feel worthy. She just looks at herself in the mirror and just constantly compare herself to the next girl. And it's always someone prettier. It's always someone smarter, richer. But it doesn't matter. You really have to love yourself and the skin that you're in. And unfortunately, society and social media doesn't teach us that. They teach us to hate upon one another because the billion-dollar industry of cosmetics and what is that stuff that you have, the plastic surgery, that's the end thing. Because I'm still stuck on pumping booty parties. So go ahead, Cassandra. I'm like, wow.
And I teach, my daughters, I had to explain, I was trying to teach them that sexiness and beauty comes from within. It's an attitude. It's not about what you wear or what you don't have on. I saw my aunts and my mother and my grandma, my father. Well, my maternal grandmother passed away when my mother was a little girl. So my paternal grandmother, I saw them command a room just by walking in the door.
And that's sexy.
And I'm literally, I saw my mother walk into a room and my father would turn his head and would watch her entire movement. My mother had everything she could have ever wanted or asked for. I mean, not that it was given immediately because, no, we were not rich, but it was because of who she was. Men love confidence, and I'm sorry, Reverend Rick, I'm stepping up. I don't know if that's true or not, but in my opinion, men love
I'll give an editorial in that later.
They love the confidence.
Yeah.
The confidence and the quiet sexuality that comes from within. Not the sitting on the stage and shaking and bouncing and doing all those, whatever those things are. So you have to know who you are And in order to know who you are, you have to have somebody that's going to be there for you, like mentors.
Yeah.
People who who are going to stand up and say, you know what, this is not who you are.
And you're right. Men do like, a confident woman. A real man, or a man who has a lot of self-esteem himself, wants a woman that has that same kind of a self-esteem and drive. But let me change that over, and I'm going to go to Michelle. Michelle is on the line. Michelle, now you have a lot of young, as a woman, you want to have that confidence, but is it kind of scary or, something that a young girl or a young lady should not have as much confidence to as soon as they walk into the room? Sometimes that can be like a negative thing, that they're focusing too much on the individual and not the intellectual possibilities of the young lady.
Well, I mean, young women struggle with confidence, and I still am as well. I mean, when I was younger, I had a lot of self-esteem issues, and I'm still working on myself too. So I think a lot of young girls, they don't have to think that they have to walk in and own a room. They just have to be comfortable in their own skin. And I think that's the most important part. I think we have to teach them that it's okay to be who you are, do what you want to do. You don't have to conform to what other people say or think, and just do your own thing. And I think that's going to help them become a little more confident.
Yeah, well, Michelle, we finally got you on the line, so, you should feel good. I'm going to go to Kelly with this question, too. Kelly, so now, do we have young ladies that sometimes, the younger girls, like in their 12 or 13 or something, do they have too much confidence in some ways that they think that they might be able to do everything, and they haven't really had a mentor or a person to kind of set the stage for them of what they can and can't do? Because nowadays it just seems like sometimes they don't want to listen to someone who has been there or has shown the scars. They just want to get the scars themselves.
I don't think that's too much confidence. I think it's a demonstration of lack of confidence and really insecurity, and just lack of knowledge. So, usually the ones that bark the most have the least confidence. But I think as a community, I've been in enough schools to talk to school leaders who will say, well, our girls, and particularly black girls, our girls are confident. They're loud, they're this, that, and the other. It's a very surface level because she's loud in the hallway. She's ready to buck up and fight you and tell you this, that, and the other. You put her in a group discussion, she has nothing to say. She can't contribute because she doesn't have that confidence. She hasn't been giving the tools that she needs to be equipped to do it. I think it's really important. Everybody has been talking about what confidence is and what it looks like. I think it's really critical as we talk about structured mentoring programs that we strive to demonstrate a cross-section of what confidence looks like. So confidence on me may look this way, confidence on our other panelists. So it's really great to show girls, this is confidence. These are values that we value and are highly important, and this is how this woman from this walk of life, this level of education, this type of job, this age, this race, this background. So that's why I love group mentoring, because girls get to see what confidence looks like on different women, and now she's got a voice. Now she can pick and say, man, I really connect with her. That her story sounds like what my story is. So I think we have to be very definite about, again, not making it about personality, but making it about inclusivity as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I know when I was a younger kid, I'm a preacher now and I can talk my butt off. But when I was younger on the bus and I sat on the inside of the bus, I used to have a fear of saying, excuse me, to someone, just to ask them to move out of the seat. You would think that a person has that confidence, like you said, because of the way they're acting. But if you put them in a situation where they have to show the confidence, typically you'll find out that they don't have that confidence at all. Hey, this is Reverend Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo. We'll be right back after these station breaks. Good evening. This is Reverend Rick McCain, and this is something you should know. Are you battling with making a tough decision?
afraid